Hi guys, Carl Haglund, August 27th, 2019. We're going to be talking about drug gangs in Seattle. Organized criminal enterprises that are selling products that are systematically destroying people's health. Could you imagine, this is the Enrock Garden Apartments. We have 20 units in the back here. They're all 2 bedrooms. 80% of the people that live here are new immigrants raising families. We have that 11 unit building up there. 9 of the units are 2 bedrooms. Again, we've got people raising kids, although they're urban pioneers, primarily in that building, and new immigrants. Guys, I want you to imagine this. You're coming out this gate. You've got your family with you. And there's a guy over there where that motorhome is across the street who's practicing shooting you and shooting your family. Let's back up. I want you to imagine, and this is central Seattle, there's a drug gang out here set up, and there's a guy where that motorhome is, who's in a van, who's got a gun that's loaded, and he's practicing shooting you and your family. Guys, it happened 2 years ago. We called the police. Tenant calls us up and says, hey, wow, there's a guy out here who's like pretending to shoot the people coming out of the building. Called the cops. Cops came down here, talked to the guy. They said, yeah, he's got a loaded gun. We can't do anything about it. Yes. August 2017. Guys, here's what's going on. He was a lookout for an Asian drug gang. The owner of the gang would come over here several times a day to bring him food and drugs. Always came in a different car, had a very attractive Asian woman with him at the time. In the late afternoon, early evening, the sales team would arrive. There'd be 3 enforcers and then the guy who owned the gang. One enforcer would be down here, kind of like on this part of the block. The other enforcer would be kind of like over here. And then the sales would occur over here on the other side of the fence. He had a red Honda that he had parked in this parking lot, facing this fence, back about 20 feet. They had a couch that they put up there during the summer. The customer would come up to the fence. The guy who owned the Asian drug gang would be over there in the car, and next to him would be an enforcer. He would walk up to the fence, and then the customer would pass the money through this fence, and then he'd give him the drugs. Yeah, and they would do that, through the evening. They'd leave after hard evening's work, and then the cycle would continue to the next day. But I want to show you what it looked like. That's the guy's van for the lookout. Right there where the motorhome is. Now that motorhome guy and that car, they're selling drugs. He's got kind of a nice car, doesn't he? And he's sort of living in that motorhome. It's actually a watchman in the motorhome. And we got a drug addict in back. Now these are sales are a little more discreet, doesn't quite have the customer base that the Asian gang had because they're a little more sophisticated. But there's the watchman. He's the crazy hoarder guy. He's the guy who's practicing shooting the tenants. Here are a couple of enforcers arriving for work. There they are. Hi, they're kind of giving me a snarly, kind of sneaky look. There's the fence where we're at. We're standing right here. Now here's another guy, same day, same moment. I actually had the dispatcher on the phone. And I'm saying, hey, I'm going to confront these gang members. I need you to stand by. He goes, well, are you confronting? I say, yeah. Shit, I've been doing this for 35 years, man. You stay on the line, so basically these guys aren't going to act out. Do you see what that guy is doing? He's basically communicating, I've got a gun and I'm going to shoot you. See, that's how they do it. When they're going to shoot somebody, they put their nose in their elbow, and then they basically pull out their gun and shoot people. That's what he's communicating. Could you imagine that? Hey, I got a gun, I'm going to shoot you. So that's how these Asian drug gangs work, guys. And I called the cops. Cops came over here. I offered them an apartment up there to set up the camera so they could have, enough information to bust these guys. They had enough information. All they had to do is come over here in the evening. The customers would be lined up 5 or 6 people deep, waiting to step up to the fence to drive their drugs. We had people over here in 2 cars that were homeless. They weren't homeless. They were drug addicts and actually lived here because they wanted to be close to their source of drugs. Yeah. Now, how do we get rid of this? I called it Bruce Hill. I say, hey, we're done with this, Bruce. We need some help. And it was interesting too, because I'm finally waking up to how to use my newfound notoriety as the notorious slumlord. Called up city council member. He made one phone call, got rid of the Asian drug gang. Now the guy who is the lookout, he's on the next block. The guy with the gun, practicing shooting my tenants, he's on another block. And we're going to go talk about that guy in a moment. So stand by.